Hey, did you know I have a Twitter now? I have a Twitter now. Link in the description. Hello, everyone, and for the first time ever, I am doing something that I have never done before. Jumped on a trend. No, anyway, it's just kind of recently there's this big trend going on called Tier Maker, or the website's called Tier Maker, but people like to make these tiers and mess around with them. This is the first time I've ever kind of jumped on a trend, I believe, and I was thinking, you know what? I do like tier making. Like, I like listing things that I like which one's better. I just enjoy doing that, so I thought this would be fun to do. I'm like, what kind of tier should I make? And then I remember an old comment from one of my Bluey videos saying that I should review every episode of Bluey, which you could call this my review of every Bluey episode to have been released, because I found that a Bluey episode tier list does exist, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a tier list for Bluey episodes, and they have a grading system from S to D, and they do have every episode from season 1 except for Veranda Santa, and seeing how this is all in alphabetical order, I'll just go off of that. So yeah, so this is me creating a Bluey episode tier list slash my review of every episode of Bluey, because I've seen every episode of season 1 Bluey. And one thing to add, for some episodes, the reviews might be a bit short. If you're wondering why, look up either my top 10 best Bluey episodes or my top 5 least favorite to kind of understand where those episodes really are, because they're either on the list or they're not. So if I make a short review on one of them, go look up one of those two videos. You'll get the full opinion on that. So anyway, let's begin. So first off, we have asparagus. I'm going to put that as an A. Now, these could either be like my opinion, like, oh, this is a fantastic episode, or I could be like a critic, like, I really like this episode, but it does have a couple problems. Like, what prevents me from putting asparagus on S is the issue that first Bluey was kind of like against manners, kind of like no more manners for everyone, and then like this, she's being all demanding, so it just seems kind of jarring. Aside from that really good episode, it's a high A. Backpackers, I'm gonna put that as a D. I didn't really care for this episode. I thought this episode was a bit cruel, and I think aside from Bandit with the croissants and his stomach ache, there wasn't anything in the episode that I really liked. So I'm just gonna keep it at D. If it was a little more memorable, I would put it higher. Barbecue, oh goodness. Oh. It's like, in my opinion, I like asparagus more, but as do I have less problems with it? I think this episode has less problems, so I'll put it in A for now, but if it moves, then we'll see. Bike, that's easily an A. It's a pretty good episode, and it's a good message. To me, it fits in the good range. Like, it's not one of my personal favorites, but I have no issue with the episode. It's a good episode. Blue Mountains. Oh, that's gotta be... Yeah, let's place it here. I think it fits. Bob Bilby. You guys are gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna put it in... To me, this is a well-written episode, and the message is good. It's just for some reason it didn't click with me very well. To me, C's being a bit overboard. Like, I put this as a B minus, really. Yeah, let's just leave it here. B for Bob Bilby. Okay, Bumpy and the Wise Old, that's an S. That is completely an S. That is my favorite episode of season 1. I'm leaving that as an S. Butterflies, I'll put it in a low A, because I like this episode, and I think this one has a really good message and a good build-up with the characters, too. The only issue is, I think everyone else has this issue, too, is that bratty rich girl can kind of get on your nerves at times, which kind of doesn't really ruin the episode, but it's just like, I could have done it if she was either in it less or if she wasn't that annoying, so I'd put that in an A, but she is kind of insufferable. Calypso, I'm going to put it as a C. I didn't really care for that episode. It's cute, I guess. I mean, not much story-wise happens. It's like Blue Mountains and Zoo, where it's just a simple, fun, wee episode. But there are better ones like Zoo and Blue Mountains. And then, of course, I prefer other episodes that take place in the classroom, like Mums and Dads. So, to me, that's a C. Camping, I did put it as an honorable mention in my top 10 Bluey episodes, but for how well it is, I'm going to put it in S. It's a well-written episode. It might be the best written episode. Like, I'll generally say this might be the best episode of season 1. My only problem is I don't like to get sad when I watch things, and if you can handle it, totally watch Camping. It is a fantastic episode. It deals with like making friends that have a different language than you do. Talks about when a friend goes away and you don't know when you're going to see them again. Just the writers did it perfectly. I'm going to give it an S, even though it barely made my top 10. Chicken Rat, oh, that's definitely an A. I enjoy Chicken Rat. It's a funny episode. Copycat, I'm going to put it in B. For those that don't know, if you watch my top 5 least favorite Bluey episodes, I put Copycat as an honorable mention because I felt like they could have dealt with the topic of death better. But as I watched the video, I feel like I'm a bit too cruel on it. Like, I still have my problems with it. Like, I don't think the effect of death really left an impact on Bluey. Like, if death, like, really affected her and she did something about it or she understood something, I would have liked it more. But it's just, this Budgie dies, she's bothered by it for like 2 minutes, and then she recreates her day with Bingo, and it doesn't really go anywhere, which was kind of disappointing. But like I said, I probably shouldn't have put it as an honorable mention on my top 5 least favorite. Daddy Put Down, I'll put that as a B. It's better than Calypso, but I didn't really like it as much. It had its cute moments, like all the bandit moments, like Follow the Leader and the swing game, but it's alright, I guess. Daddy Robot, oh, that's an S. Oh, I love Daddy Robot, it's so funny. Early Baby, I'm gonna put as a C. I love the concept of they build up some storyline in one episode, and they follow it with the next. Like, first it was Early Baby, then it was quickly followed with Mums and Dads. And I honestly prefer Mums and Dads more, but I do like how they kind of connect the 2 episodes and how they spark a relationship between Rusty and Indy, which I think they're a cute couple together. But anyway, Early Baby's okay, it's cute, it's kind of repetitive. Like, tell me that the phrase, "I'll be the bravest I've ever been," doesn't get kind of grating by the end. But there are cute moments, like, I think whenever Snickers was on screen, he was just so adorable. But anyway, okay, we got Fairies. That's a D. I'm sorry, I'm not taking that back. I do not like this episode. Watch my top 5 least favorite Bluey episodes. You'll understand why I do not like Fairies. Fruit Bat. You know what? I'm going to put it as a high A, because I love Fruit Bat. I love that episode. But if I were to, like, analyze it as a critic, I could say there were some things wrong with the episode, but out of pure enjoyment, I love that episode, so I'm going to give it a high A. Grannies. Yeah, that's an A. I love Grannies. And it's just a cute episode. Of course, Bingo and Bluey are adorable as always, playing their game, and one thing Grannies does that I really appreciate is, throughout the episode, Bluey wants to prove to Bingo that grandmothers can't floss, and when Bluey's grandmother can't do it, she's like happy that she's right, but of course, Bingo's upset and doesn't want to play with her, so she gets confused, and Chili asks, well, what do you want? Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep playing with Bingo? And almost immediately, Bluey says, can I have both? And Bandit and Chili say no, which I thought that was perfect. Like, you can't have both. Like, sometimes you can, but there are other situations where you can't, and you have to make on what you think is the right decision. I just love that. I love how they did that. So, maybe in terms of writing, I could put it a bit higher, but I'd honestly would like to watch Barbecue or Blue Mountains over Granny's, in my opinion. Hide and Seek, it's a D. Funny enough, someone commented saying that they didn't like Hide and Seek, and they gave me reasons, like they thought that Owl Furby was annoying, and they said that Bluey was out of character for the episode. I strangely have to agree with that person. Like, Bluey didn't seem like Bluey, because in the episode, they play a game of hide and seek, but Bandit makes the comment that Bluey gets easily distracted by things. So she's like, okay, you guys hide and I'll find you. And then she gets easily distracted because she's like, I was going to do something. No, I wasn't. And then she just does her own thing. And it does have like a message in it, which is okay, I guess. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad like fairies, but it's just eh. I could watch it over Backpackers and Fairies, but it's just eh. Like, I don't think I really need to see that episode. Horsey Ride, I'm going to leave off the list because, to be honest, I haven't seen the full episode of Horsey Ride. I really need to. Like, you know what? Let me just put it as a low B, because if I remember the episode, I didn't like it as much as the other ones, but it was certainly not one of the worst. Hospitals, definitely a high A. I really enjoyed Hospitals. Hotel, I'd put it at the same spot. I like hotels, and I like the whole message of not being bossy, and it was just cute, so I liked Hotel. Keepy Uppy is again another A. I think I'd put it over Bike, but I still like other episodes like Chicken Rat more. Like, Keepy Uppy is cute and that's it. Kids, yeah, that's definitely a high A. Most of these A's are kind of high. Like, I think Kids would be the first high A and the rest are high too. Markets, I'm going to put as a C. Here's the thing. I didn't enjoy this episode. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I just didn't, really like it. It's just kind of, again, it's just kind of Like, I can't really say much about it. Like, I can't say if it has a good message or anything. There are a couple good moments, but they're very small. They're not, big, and they don't scream out to me, which is probably why I don't remember this episode much. Mom and Dad, definitely a high A. That episode's really fun. It's a very sweet Bluey Bingo episode where they're just the sisters doing stuff together and they kind of learn a message and kind of connect more, just like Butterflies, though I prefer Mom and Dad over Butterflies, but really cute episode. Okay, Mums and Dads, that's an A for me. Like, I prefer Mums and Dads over Early Baby, but I like watching the two episodes back to back. Mums and Dads is funny, and again, it kind of builds up the relationship with Indy and Rusty, which, again, are both super adorable together, and I love how we get to see more kids at the preschool, and we learn more about their, quirks and personalities. Like, we know a lot about Snickers and the Terriers already, but Winton is just so adorable, and I'd like to see more of Winton, but really good episode. Neighbors, I'm going to put at a high C. I feel like B is saying I liked it. It's It's kind of silly, and once again, Bandit is the standout of the episode. I think the reason why I really don't like this is I'm not a big fan of its message. It is trying to say, I don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of like, if you want things to go your way, you have to, stare at them seriously. I don't know. It's just how I feel about the episode. It's okay. I just don't really understand its message. Because the whole thing is they all play neighbors, but Bingo keeps, increasing her size of, her house and kind of shortening Bluey's. And when she's kind of learning from Chili on, how to get your neighbors to stop things, it's you ask them nicely, but if you reject, you give them a serious look. I just don't understand how that works in the real world. It's if you do that, they're either going to say, you're weird, or to the extreme, they're going to punch you in the face. I don't know. Pirates. I'm going to put as an A. If you watch my least favorite Bluey episodes, I did mention a big problem with this episode, but in a positive light. I just said this episode had a problem, but as it progressed, it made up for it. Because the thing is, when they're playing pirates, Bandit is afraid to make whale noises in front of other people. I kind of get that, where I'm weird, though when I see a stranger, I don't want to act weird. Like, I like to act weird in front of friends and such, and that kind of thing. And then what Chili does is just humiliate Bandit, which I don't think is going to get you anywhere. But instead, Muffin, who's, like, scared of the game throughout it, slowly, like, builds up her confidence and, like, overcomes her fear. And she actually gives, like, a short, cute sentence, kind of like a, "Come on, Bluey's dad," something like that. And I just felt like not only did she do it really nicely, but she was the perfect person to help Bandit conquer his fear. And that's why I really like Pirates. Like, it kind of went downhill, kind of like, this is the wrong way to do things. And then they kind of take it the other way around. Like, this was the perfect way to do things. So I just really appreciate the writers of Bluey for going that route. Shadowlands, it's an A. It's cute. I like it. Nothing super special. Though, again, more Snickers, and I think Snickers is just adorable. Sean, I didn't really care for Sean. I mean, this is going to be weird. For all the episodes I found okay or eh, Bandit is always the best part of the episode, but they don't really, like, make it the episode. Like, sometimes he does, like with Daddy Robot and hospitals and kids. But there's times where he doesn't do much, but he's still kind of like, he was the best part. And I just didn't really care for Sean. Shops, D. I still have my problems with it. Again, check my least favorite Bluey episodes video. You'll see why I don't like this one. Spy Game, you know what? I'll put it here. Spy Game's good. I don't think I'm going to watch it as much, but this would probably be like B+, close to A-. Like, I think Spy Game is good, just not as good as, like, Shadowlands, in my opinion. Because I do like the message and the executions, just, again, didn't click on to me as much. Takeaway, I'm going to put as an A. Now, this one is also really popular as, like, one of the best episodes of the show. It's good, but at the same time, first off, it feels repetitive. Like, it's like an anxiety episode, because it's basically Bingo and Bluey kind of do things, and they're like, it kind of builds up, and, like, Bandit has to do a lot of things, and then at the end it kind of pays off with, like, a cute little fortune cookie thing. I guess the ending really didn't fully pay off. Like, I just thought the whole lots of things going on was just super chaotic. It does get funny, but at the same time, it's just, like, it doesn't really, it's sweet, I guess. I wish there was kind of a bigger payoff. But it's good. It is good. It's just not one of my favorites. Taxi, oh yeah, that's definitely an A. I really like Taxi. It's really cute, and for people who know my opinion on Backpackers, you're going to be like, this is weird. You don't like Bandit being tortured in Backpackers, but why do you like him being tortured in Taxi? Because the whole thing is, they play a taxi game, he needs to get to the airport, but Chili, Bingo, and Bluey always, like, stall to kind of, like, make him late. I guess the thing is, he does succeed in Backpackers, but when he succeeds in Taxi, it feels more fulfilling. At least in Taxi, he's not being physically assaulted, like he getting punched in the gut in Backpackers, so at least not in Taxi. So I just thought, Taxi's basically a much better version of Backpackers. But I do love Taxi, it's a really good episode. Teasing? Oh yeah, that's a high. I love Teasing. That was such a cute episode. It's really funny, and I do like how it's a bit of a development thing. Like, it is kind of annoying that they're, like, super hypocritical. They're like, oh, Bandit, we don't like you teasing. But at the same time, they realize there's a difference between teasing and playing and such, and it's really funny, and the ending is very sweet. Like, the ending is super sweet. I won't spoil it, but watch Teasing. It's a really good one. The Adventure, definitely an S. This is probably the smartest episode of the show I've seen, like with the technical side and all that stuff. But I watched The Adventure. It's so good. The Beach, I'd put in an A. The Beach is actually really good. It's really cute. It's imaginative. It's kind of like the whimsy of being at the beach. And saying as a person who goes to the beach a lot, it does really make it fun. Like, watching it does make me want to go to the beach. Bluey does... She doesn't really learn a lesson. Maybe it's her conquering her fear, but it's so fun that, like, it doesn't bother me a lot. Okay, The Claw, that one's a high B. It's like Spy Game. It's a good episode, and I don't really have any problems with it, but it's not one of the more memorable ones. Okay, The Creek, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and put it at a low C and not a D. I didn't really like this episode. I thought it was boring. Like, I think The Beach is a much better version of The Creek, but at least The Creek had things that I liked about it, like Bluey kind of interacting with the Creek for the first time, and almost all of Bandit's stuff was pretty funny, so at least that's something that I remember from this. But still, the downsides still kind of bother me with just how boring it is. The Doctor, I'd put at a low A. To me, I feel like putting it at a B is a bit mean, because I do like Doctor, and I like the whole Honey trying to play the Doctor game, but her, like, injury is very simple, and she didn't get injured. This is like a fake game they're playing, but, like, she has a minor injury, but, like, the other people, their injuries are, like, incredibly bizarre and severe, and it does kind of show, like, I don't know what the message is saying. It kind of gets blurred. It's like, it feels like Bluey should learn the lesson, but at the same time, it gets away from that. Like, the lesson should be, I think they're trying to say, like, every injury, no matter how big or small, is the same. You should still treat them, which can be a good message. I mean, an alligator biting your head and a bust in the knee, one is more painful than the other, but they're still painful. And I could see Bluey trying to do that message, but it gets kind of blurred at the end and they don't really go that route. Still a good episode. Just didn't go as far as I wanted it to. The Dump, I'm going to put it as a middle... You know what? I'm going to put it right... Oh yeah, I'm going to put it right here at this A spot. Like, the more I watched The Dump, the more I really liked it. Because this one, like, if you want a reason to, like, get kind of angry at Bandit, kind of like, okay, that's not cool, watch this episode. Because the whole thing is they go to the dump and Bluey's asking him these questions and she's kind of like, you're the best dad in the world. And he's like, yes, I am. And then Bluey finds out that he's throwing away her old drawings, which, like, really gets her down. And I think the way the episode ends is really clever because she's just kind of like, I don't think you're the best dad in the world. And he's like, yeah, I'm not. Like, that is so perfect. He admits his flaws and uses that to kind of help Bluey and make her a better person. Like, that was just so perfect. And I love that scene. Like, the more I watch The Dump, the more I just love that scene. It's another really well-written episode. Of course, with how the tone is, I like other episodes more, but I can't deny and just love this message. Okay, Magic Xylophone, definitely a high A. Such an enjoyable episode. And for the first episode of the series, it's pretty good. It kind of set, like, an example of things to come in, like, a really positive way. The Pool, I'm going to put at C. I didn't really care for this episode. I felt like they could have done their message a bit better. The message is that boring things can be important too, because Bandit takes the kids to the pool, but he's, like, kind of wrapped up in how fun the pool is that he forgets some important stuff like sunscreen and towels and goggles and such. So it is a good message, but it's just kind of annoying. It's just 5 minutes of, well, I wish we brought this and I wish we brought that. It does kind of conclude the message of boring things are important. It's just the way they do it is not very engaging. Okay, the sleepover, I'm going to put this on an S. Because even though I like Fruit Bat more than the sleepover is so well written. It has a really good message, a good payoff, and it's so funny that it deserves an S rating. Just such a funny episode. Muffin is just so hilarious. Like, this one I highly recommend. The Weekend, I'm going to put at a C. Weird, I just found out that The Weekend was actually the pilot for Bluey. And, of course, it's good, and it got the 52 episodes plus a season 2. Though, I'm not a big fan of this episode, because it's one where it's like fun things happen, but then it tries to throw in a message at the last second. The message is like, Bingo encounters like this leaf creature and like wants Bandit to see it, but he's so distracted and the bug flies away. She's like really sad that Bandit didn't listen to her, even though he was in the middle of something. Though at the end of the day, she's like, Dad, you didn't hear me when I said come over here. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was in the middle of something busy. And she's like, it's okay. Like, it's like she feels really down, yet she forgives him so easily. But it's not terrible. Trampoline, oh yeah, that's definitely an A. Trampoline's very cute. It's basically Hotel, where it's like Bluey, Bingo, and Bandit playing together. It's really cute, and the ending and its message is really adorable, because the whole thing is they keep playing trampoline so that he doesn't leave for work. Though when he finally like leaves for work, he tells Bluey, just, I have to go do my job, and you have to do yours. And she's like, I don't have a job. She's like, yeah, you do. What is it? Making up games. And I'm just like, oh, it was just so adorable. And then after he leaves, she sees Bingo, and she's like, Bluey, I don't know what to play. And she looks around and she does her job, and it's so adorable. So I really like Trampoline and its ending. Wagon Ride, I'm going to put at a high C. The episode has a good message and it's written okay. But the reason why I don't put it at B is, once again, nothing super memorable happens. Because I know Bluey kind of develops a character, and she kind of develops patience, and the ending is cute and how, like, it ends with her controlling the wagon for Bingo. That was cute, but it's just not really that memorable to me. I won't watch it a whole lot. Okay, Work. That is definitely a high A. I might like Work more than Hospitals, to be honest. Work is just so fun. It's funny and how they work. The ending is amazing. And once again, like I said in my top 10 favorite Bluey episodes, I love Bandit Bingo combos. I think those two are just so adorable together. Work is just such a good episode. Yoga Ball, this is either an S or the highest A. You know what? I'll leave it at the highest A, because I'll give you my reason. Because I do discuss Yoga Ball in my top 10 favorite Bluey episodes, but one thing I forgot to mention was, in the episode, Bandit and Bluey and Bingo play a lot of games, but the joke is, Bandit's working from home, yet they wanted to play, but he's like, no, I've got to work. So he's like, okay, we'll play some quick games. Though, as they go out, Bingo realizes Bandit's kind of playing a bit rough with her, like, playing like harder than she feels comfortable with. And she does kind of say, Dad, you're playing a bit rough with me, and he apologizes. Though his explanation is, I sometimes forget that you're a bit younger than your older sister, which sounds odd. With how they set up with him working from home, he could have said, oh, I'm sorry, I was in such a rush to get the game over with so I could get back to work. That would have been a perfect, like, excuse for playing rough with her. It's just, I'm working from home, and I was just playing rough because I wanted to go fast so I could get back to work. If he said that, I probably would have liked that episode a lot more. It is still high on my list, but it would have been a bit higher if that little thing was changed, which is so strange, because the rest of the episode is really, really good. Like, you should still watch Yoga Ball, but if they just changed that, that would have been a perfect episode. And then we got Zoo. Zoo, oh goodness. I'd put that as an S. Zoo was just so adorable. I love how it's an episode where no lesson is learned, but again, the interactions, how they play the game is so adorable, and probably the best Bingo Bandit combo ever. They are just so adorable together, and I could watch that episode a lot and not get tired of it. Before we end the tier list, one thing they're missing is Veranda Santa, which I can understand because Veranda Santa came out late. It came out in December. I would put it at a high A. I really enjoy that episode. And here's my review on Veranda Santa, because I technically made my top 10 Bluey episodes before Veranda Santa came out, but here's my full review. They play a game of Veranda Santa where the kids have to pretend that they're asleep, and then someone dressed up as Santa sneaks presents behind their pillow, and they're trying not to get caught. And when they're playing the game, Socks bites Bluey, and she gets really upset. So when Bluey becomes Santa, she kind of does a mean trick, and she doesn't leave Socks a gift. And like she makes some like nasty comment, like, "Looks like Santa doesn't give presents to people who are naughty." And she kind of like is like being like really bratty about it, though. Of course, it really affects Socks, and it's like weird. Like the way Socks reacts, she kind of like runs out the room. It's not like, "Oh, Bluey, you're mean." It was almost kind of like she felt bad for biting Bluey, because she like really thought like, "Oh God, what if I'm not gonna get presents for biting you?" Like that felt really like good with how it's written. And then at the end, Bluey's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for being mean to you. It's just I'm upset that you bit me for no reason," which that is kind of a small problem. The thing is, Bandit, when Bingo was playing, grabbed him. It's like, "Oh, it's my teddy bear." So Bluey tried to do it with Socks, but since Socks is a little child and it's like a baby, Socks kind of bites Bluey. So she did have a motive for biting her, though it is sweet because she's like, "You bit me for no reason." And then Socks comes over and kind of like licks where she bit her, and it's so wholesome, and it's such a good Christmas episode. Like, Veranda Santa would barely make my top 10. Like, it would be an honorable mention, kind of like Grannies and Mount Mom and Dad and Work. But it was a really, really good episode. So yeah, if Veranda Santa was on the list, I'd put it as a high A. So as you can see, this is my tier list for Season 1 Bluey episode / my review. Please don't be salty about where I place things. I kind of explained my reasons, but like I said, for some of them that I don't go too deep on, I said watch my least favorite or my top 10 favorite Bluey episodes to learn a lot more about them. Like, there were some where I had more to say about them, but some are just kind of like, and my opinion is still the same, just watch the video. But for a tier video, this was kind of fun to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. For my viewers, I'm sorry for not making anything. It's just school's been so packed. It's the second semester, it's always packed, but it's just I haven't been really focused on making videos, and I know I have a lot to make. I have Q&A 11, I have my top 10 favorite movies of 2019 still. And I'll even apologize and say I've gotten zero progress on my Out in the Rain review. But I'm going to try to release at least some of those videos this month, if not all. Like, when I have the time, I'm going to put my attention on those videos. I'm going to try to get those done, because I did record dialogue for some of the videos, like, over a month ago. Like, I still have a Funko unboxing video to make that I had like a month ago, but I'm gonna see if I could make it like better, and if it's the same, I'll just keep those and make the video around it. So I'm gonna try to work on those. Please be a little more patient, but I'm really gonna try and put my attention on newer videos. So thanks for waiting. Wait a little bit more, and then you'll see a lot more from me. And then, yeah, to all you Bluey fans, this is going to be my last Bluey video until Season 2, or if I find something else to make a video on Bluey on. But course, I love Bluey. I think it's a really great show, and this was fun to do. So, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. I'll post this tier list on the description so that you guys can try this out too. Consider subscribing for more Bluey videos or list videos, as well as other content, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bingo! Pink car!
Go Rainbow! Hooray! You're the best dad in the world!
Really?